this is quite cool. God of War Ragnarok is the fastest selling first-party Sony game ever, which is nothing to laugh at. 5.1 million copies sold. Actually, want to see how much.
This is the benefit of being cross-platform.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, cross-gen at least.
Because play it on PC.
You've got a base of what, over 100 million PS4s?
Yeah.
And then what are they on, like 12, 15 million PS5s, somewhere around there?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is why I think Sony will continue to be doing PS4, PS5 for I think at least till the end of next year. I know Spider-Man 2 is not cross gen, and I think that's going to be your first big marquee title that is like we are done now. You know.
But I mean, even just for comparison's sake, God of War 2018 on PS4 and PC has sold 23 million copies, which is monumental. But I mean, this is sold 20% of that in like 3 weeks.
A week, yeah.
Whatever it is. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Is this just during the first week?
This was in a week. Yeah, this was in a week.
Crazy.
Completely sold more than it's in a week. Yeah.
That's insane.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And this is still will come to PC as well, like in 2 years maybe.
Okay, but you thought that was a lot. Do you have anything more to add to this?
No, it's good. I think it's good for God of War. I think it's good for Sony. And it also is not that surprising given the success of the first game. So good on them. Yeah, it's good.
But you know what? You know what sold twice as much? That unoptimized game, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, over 10 million units within 3 days of release. Now, you might be saying, why do they keep shipping Pokemon games? Well, why do people... Well, both. Why do they keep shipping not broken, but why do they keep shipping Pokemon games that have issues? And why do people keep buying them? I don't know.
They
do not care. 10 million copies is a ludicrous amount of games to sell in 3 days.
Insane. It's absolutely, and it kind of shattered the record that Splatoon 3 set earlier this year. That seemed like completely outlandish, and it's just completely annihilated it. Like, this is the fastest selling Switch release ever. So goodbye Animal Crossing, goodbye Splatoon 3.
That is just insane.
No, it's obscene. This is just. It's nearly eclipsed Diamond and Pearl in its first 3 days.
Yeah. So Diamond and Pearl has sold almost 50 million copies in its lifetime.
Yeah, it's going to kill it in the next 2 weeks.
And Pokemon and Scarlet, so 4 million of those copies were in Japan alone. It's like... I love this. This proves that Pokemon still remains extremely popular, both in Japan and globally. No shit.
Pokemon Scarlet Violet nearly sold the same just in Japan that God of War did globally.
Yeah, crazy.
Think about that.
Go to your room and think about that.
It's on one platform. A platform that has sold obscenely well, but quite close to the PS4. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I tell you, this is just. And I swear, over the Christmas season, it's going to be even worse. The explosion is going to be...
Oh, yeah. How many parents do you think are going to snap up a good old Scarlet or Violet Switch combo for their kids? I think there's a limited edition or a special edition.
Again, this is the constant battle. Is like, Game Freak needs help. Game Freak needs to be given more resources or time. Why would Nintendo do that when this keeps happening?
They don't need to. They literally
they look at this and go, everything's fine. People don't care.
Yeah.
And to a degree, they're true. But that doesn't mean that there are not problems. This is the one thing I hate with the discourse about this game is people are like, look, it's sold. People don't care about performance issues. It's like, yeah, that's fine. But it doesn't mean they don't exist. They can still be better.
Yeah.
The two aren't mutually exclusive.
No.
Anyway.
Yep. Well, games sold millions is the headline of this week's news
actual
roundup.
Millions. It's kind of insane. Pokemon is the biggest pop culture franchise in the world still today. So this just shows that it still is, I guess.
Well, speaking of games that could sell potential millions, the Microsoft's acquisition of Activision likely to face an FTC lawsuit, report says.
Yes. So
Yeah.
this got really not taken out of context, but people jump to like some strange conclusions with this when this is a fairly normal thing.
Yeah.
The FTC is going to try and block it. Yes, that is normal. It almost happens on like every sort of acquisition that is this large. That does not mean it's in danger of not closing. What it means is that Microsoft will have to do what it always probably was going to do and make concessions to appease the FTC when the FTC goes, we are going to block these on this grounds, and Microsoft will be like,
okay,
cool, we will concede on that. And the FTC will be like, great, that's it. And that'll be it. Like,
the end.
I think the UK is still the one that's the trickiest. But yeah, it was funny seeing all these documents come out from Microsoft and Sony, like how Sony basically threw Battlefield under the bus, saying it's nowhere near as good in quality as Call of Duty, and that's why still having Battlefield and Sony actually doesn't mean anything. Which is like, wow, Jesus, you're gonna fucking nuke your relationship with EA like that so perfectly. And Microsoft saying that again, reiterating that they will put Xbox Call of Duty on Xbox. Phil Spencer actually saying on a podcast that he's willing to sit down with Jim Ryan and pen like a longer deal for it.
Well, he says they've offered Sony a further 10 years of Call of Duty games.
Sony knows that it does not matter what deal they're given. The worst outcome for them is this deal going through in general, because like it does not matter if Call of Duty is on a Sony platform for the next 20 years. The fact that Microsoft takes all the profits from that is what bugs them.
Yeah, but that's my thing. I think at a glance, people's knee-jerk reaction is, oh no, like Xbox is going to make Call of Duty an Xbox exclusive. I'm like, why would they? You sell it.
I mean, I thought that at the beginning. Like, I was convinced that was going to happen.
Why would you? You sell it on your competitor's console and you still reap the profits.
Yep.
Like, come on. Yep. You'd be shooting yourself in the foot to not do that. It's like,
yep.
Yeah.
Even if Microsoft doesn't put Call of Duty on Game Pass, which by all accounts it seems it can't for the next 3 or 4 years, even if this deal goes through because of some agreement with Sony.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter. Like, they own it. They can do whatever they want with the content. They can even make it parity. They just get the money. And because Sony knows how much money Call of Duty generates annually, they're going, this is dangerous for our business because the amount of money Microsoft is going to make from this is like obscene. And Microsoft is going, we don't actually give a shit about Call of Duty. We actually just want King. We want the mobile space. Because have you seen Phil Spencer said this in the podcast. He said, this was with The Verge, console sales have flatlined. Like they are still there, but they are not growing.
Yeah.
Whereas the mobile space, like you've got a consumer base of like
billions.
It's insane, and it keeps growing. And it keeps making money. Well, so that's why they want King. Like the amount of money they're going to make from King is astronomical compared to what they'll make from Call of Duty.
Put it like this: so we know the Switch, for example, sold like, let's say 100 million. Consoles, okay, and Pokemon has sold millions, and Animal Crossing, but like mobile devices are in the billions, like 50, 60, 70 times bigger than, I don't know if my math is right, it sounds right, bigger than
super not right, but yes.
Whatever, it's bigger, okay. It's huge install base there, lots of moolah.
No, it's huge, and that's what they want. So, and I think I don't think Phil Spencer is saying this to kind of detract from the attention that Call of Duty is getting. I think he's being honest. He's like, that's really what we want. And Sony obviously doesn't have any skin in the mobile game, really. So they are fighting on the front of Call of Duty because that's the one that affects them.
Yeah.
Listen, this deal's going to go through. I do not see a way where Microsoft does not find a way to make this deal go through, whether they make a concession. And I don't think any concession is going to make Sony happy either way. So they're going to continue fighting this. There was a report this week that Activision even said that they are going to fight hard against any opposition to this deal going through. So like,
sure.
I think Sony's going to try, but I think they know deep down it's
a done.
It's going to happen. It's a done deal. It will probably not happen until mid next year, maybe even end of next year, but it's going to happen.
Yeah. Well, Cool. In other news, do you like The Witcher?
Wind's howling.
Wind's howling. I need to
in HD.
do this
in 4K.
In a 4K. So that long that long outstanding, long delayed. Oh my god, your face is frozen. I don't know why. There we go. That long delayed Witcher 3 Next Gen update is actually coming this year. Hello.
Yeah. I mean, CD Projekt Red was running out of time because they did say it was coming this year.
Yeah.
And it was like end of November, and everyone's like, so yeah, it's cool. I'm keen. You get your 60 FPS on consoles now, finally.
Mm-hmm.
You get ray tracing on consoles, although you have to then have it in 30 FPS, which is, I guess, makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of new like textures, the ray tracing stuff looks great. There's ray traced global illumination, so your lighting is going to look fucking phenomenal.
Nice.
Like you said earlier, we were saying before the podcast, like you watch this trailer and you're like, yeah, this looks good.
It looks fun.
Like Witcher, yeah. When you put it side by side with what you remember of The Witcher, like holy shit, big improvement.
What a difference!
Like, it looks really fucking good.
I
saw someone saying this looks closer to what they showed at E3 initially, and I'm like,
oh my god.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Yeah.
I'd say if you excited for this game, thank you. You want to, you're looking forward to it, go look up side by side comparisons. You'll be blown away by how much work has actually gone into this. Like it
huge amount of work. Yeah,
it is crazy.
And that makes it even nicer that it's a free update. So if you're listening to this, the deals are probably still going, considering it's a Monday. But you can grab this on Steam for $10, the full Game of the Year edition. So base game, all the DLC, all the expansions. And then you'll get this thing on December 14th for free, which is a hell of a deal. And I would take that.
Who on this planet does not own The Witcher yet? I feel like it's always on sale.
I came to find out that I own it on 3 different platforms today, so not sure how that happened.
Hilarious.
Xbox, PC, and PC again.
Nice. Just for in case.
Yeah, just on GOG and on Steam in case.
Oh my god, how does this run on Steam Deck? Not the next gen update, but
when
the base
I
game.
tried it on Steam Deck in Jan, it did not run super well, but it wasn't verified at the time.
Okay, maybe it's.
So I think they've done some work since then. Yeah, but I think it'll run like probably you can run it at like 40. I mean, the game runs on a fucking Switch, so like it'll be fun. It looks like ass on Switch though. Oh my god!
But it works.
Like, it works. It is a marvel that thing works on Switch, and good on CD Projekt Red to get. But it is not the way I would play that game, like at all.
Nope. Cool. In other last pieces of news, we're going back to Sony. Sorry, Sony's all over the news this week. Sony will remove shovelware and easy platinum games from PlayStation Store. Can we get an F in chat for Greg Miller?
Yeah, I think every podcast I've listened to that has spoken about this news mentions Greg Miller. Yeah, like everyone just knows.
The man's got a platinum problem.
Yeah.
Look, I think this is I mean, I haven't really struggled with this personally because I don't spend nearly enough time on the store, but I've long heard, I've known for the longest time that the PlayStation Store is filled with, easy platinums. There are entire YouTube channels and news channels and lots of channels dedicated to, hey, here's a new easy platinum game for you, yeah, it seems,
or a game with DLC where it's like 10 minutes to platinum.
Yeah, it's like that's essentially it of like, here's an easy platinum. But it seems that the shovelware side of that is going to be minimized.
I'm not going to pretend that this is a thought I had, but it was one I heard on, I think it was the Giant Bombcast. I think good old Jeff Grubb there was mentioning this is more Sony looking at a problem and making it a developer problem. And the problem being the store is bad. The search functionality on the PlayStation Store and the way to filter things and the way it surfaces new games is so bad, because the problem here is that these games are put out at such a rapid rate that they bury bigger, quote unquote, legitimate games.
True.
And so Sony's solution is, okay, no more of those games. Instead of being like, wait, we are going to make filtering or natural search on our store better so that these things you actually have to hunt for. And then the quality, quote unquote, games come up to the surface a bit better.
Well,
I tend to agree with that. I don't think it's really fair. Maybe shovelware. There should be a quality bar, but like if people want these fucking things, they're making money.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. At the end of the day, like it's making developers money and it's making Sony money. Like, what do they care if 10,000 people spend $1 on a shovelware game? It's $10,000 revenue. But yeah, on that, can we get Sony and Nintendo into the same room and not let them out until they sort out their storefronts? Like, Sony's one thing. Yeah, Nintendo's is the worst.
Nintendo's is so bad lately. The store is just dog slow. Like,
yeah, it's like if I want to just scroll through that store, doesn't matter what tab I'm on, it just lags.
It's awful. I like, and I don't even engage with it that often because we are fortunate enough that we get a lot of code for games. So I go into the store to redeem a code. If I'm actually having to look for a fucking game there, holy shit! Like, good luck to any indie dev who's put out a game that is more than a month old and someone needs to search for it. You'll never find it.
Yeah.
Like, you can search the exact thing and sometimes not get that. It's so bad.
Yeah, please. In the words of Kratos, be better. Come on, Sony and Nintendo.
I did enjoy that one part in God of War with Atreus and Kratos regarding that term. It was quite cute.
Tell me after the podcast because I don't remember.
Okay.
Is it a spoiler? No.
Oh, it's a nice moment, so I guess someone would consider it a spoiler.
Okay, then tell me later. Speaking of God of War Ragnarok, like we haven't spoken about it enough. So on the Kinda Funny spoiler cast, which I've actually listened to, real good. When you're done with the game, go listen to it. Some nice, neat nuggets and insights and just cool things about the game. The director, what's his name? Eric Williams was speaking to the gang, and he actually, I don't know if you've listened to that clip, but he said that after every game he finishes making, he goes and he plays his favorite game, Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
Wow, he must have played that a lot.
A lot. So he was saying that when Ragnarok drops, the whole studio were like kind of waiting for reviews to drop, and he was just locked away in his office playing Symphony of the Night because he just like didn't want to like deal with the stress of like, did it hit, didn't it hit?
Like his comfortable space, yeah.
But what came out of that conversation is that he said he would love to make a Castlevania game, which is pretty cool.
I would love that.
I'm there. Like Castlevania, I feel it's had some good love on Netflix because of a really good show, but on the gaming front, I cannot tell you what's happening with the franchise. I don't know what.
When was the last one? Lords of Shadow 2.
Yeah, but that was like how long ago?
More than a decade ago.
Yeah, 45 million years ago. Give this man his Castlevania license, or just give it to anyone.
So Eric Williams was the combat director on 2018 and now the full-on director for this one. So considering how he's shepherded the combat in God of War, these past two games, 100% feel confident in someone like that leading a new Castlevania. Fucking give it to me. That'll be great. I don't even know. Like the Lords of Shadow games kind of were God of War games. I don't know if a new Castlevania could be that or if it would be something different, but I would trust someone like him to kind of figure that out. Yeah, I'd be keen. There's also for a very long time this idea that From wanted to make a Castlevania game, and I would also be fucking down for that.
Yeah.
Who knows? Konami is licensing out their Silent Hill stuff to third-party developers.
Yeah, maybe.
So maybe it's only a matter of time for them to start doing that with
Konami
Castlevania.
are hilarious because they this company who like I don't think they're at the heyday anymore. Like Konami's not what Konami used to be, but they're sitting on this gold mine of intellectual property. It's like Castlevania, Silent Hill, Metal Gear Solid. I'm like, you can make so much money if you pair the right developers with those licenses.
I bet you Sony would pay big money for an exclusive like that.
Like 100%.
If Sony were in conversation with the Konami and they were like, cool, we'll get Sony Santa Monica to make a Castlevania.
Yeah, 100%.
Do you know how big that would be? Like if that, say in like 3 years, that's announced at a show like exclusive to PS5, new Castlevania game from Sony Santa Monica. Holy shit.
Yeah, be huge.
Huge. That'd be cool.
They could pull a God of War reveal.
A lot of devs say they want to do this stuff and it never ends up happening, but like this is something I genuinely hope happens.
Yeah, but imagine they reveal that like 5 years, it's just a shadow, and who steps out? It's Alucard going, yeah.
Boy.
Dracula.
Yeah, there's like a baby Alucard and then big Dracula comes out. He's just like, boy.
Boy, oh my god. I'd pay to play that game. Shit.
The coming of age of Alucard under the shepherding of Dracula. Oh my god.
I mean, Sony.
And then at the end of the game, he goes, Dad, is my name just your name backwards?
No, they have to find a shrine and they see it in the mirror and he goes, oh my god, Alucard. There's Dracula backwards. Can you believe it? Yeah, great. And then we play Castlevania Ragnarok 4 years later.
Oh my god.
Hire us, Sony. Cool. Enough of the Sony news. Last piece of
Eric
news.
Williams should hire us as writers. We clearly nailed it.
That Callisto Protocol game coming out soon. So long and the short of it is that apparently there are some death animations being hidden behind a paywall, which kicked up a bit of a fuss from people going, WTF, that is random. And the dev...
It's quite random, I won't lie.
It's so random. And the dev has since come out saying, hey, those 25 death animations aren't cut content. We haven't even started on them.
Oh, I did see Glenn Schofield tweet that, and that was the most strange tweet as well. The way it was worded, it was just like,
God,
it was like we haven't even started on these animations yet. It's like,
oh, whatever. The game's coming out this month. They're like, of course it's there. So, yeah, take from that what you will.
It's just one of those dumb things that I'm sure they were forced to do. They're like, you need to do a season pass by the publisher, and they're like, the fuck are we going to put in a season pass for a single player horror game?
Death animations.
To be fair, I will take additional death animations that no one actually needs or wants over the sort of season pass bullshit that killed Dead Space 3. So this is okay. We're still okay.
Gets the thumbs up from us.
I mean, the thumbs
it gets
up
one
that
of
gets
these
cut
from
off
us.
and animated back onto your thumb. The animation is not done yet.
Oh my god. And that is gaming news for this week. So much stuff. Actually, we thought not so much stuff, but so much stuff.
Yeah, apparently.